The autumn draft starts in Russia in October 1st. The Kremlin plans to recruit 133,000 more soldiers. The Russian authorities are once again promising not to send conscripts to the war against Ukraine, but very few people believe these assurances at this point. The number of Russian conscripts killed and captured by the Ukrainian armed forces proves the opposite. The regime will use this resource to make up for the massive losses of the Russian army.
Russia will likely continue to force conscripts to sign contracts following their completion of service to ensure a steady supply of personnel for the war amid high attrition rates, from a UK intelligence report on social media X.
The autumn conscription campaign allows the Kremlin to test a new system of recruiting. On November 1st, 2024, the law on military duty and military service will come into force, which provides for mandatory digitalization of the work of military recruitment offices. Now, information on each conscript will be stored in 48 sections. The base of the Unified Register of Conscripts will contain almost all personal data, from the history of disease to information about second citizenship. In addition, summons will now be served through the Unified Public Services portal in electronic form. This significantly reduces the chances of evading service in the army of the aggressor country.
Attempts to avoid being served a paper summon, not to open the door to representatives of the military enlistment office, not to leave at the place of residence, etc., were the main strategy of draft evasion. The introduction of electronic summonses while formally retaining paper summonses makes this strategy meaningless, since it is virtually impossible to not receive it. It will be sent to the person's personal account on public services portal and at the same time will appear in the register of summonses. A week after it is placed in the register, it will be considered delivered. From the publication of the BBC Russian service.
For those who ignore the summons, there is a list of restrictions. It will be impossible to take a loan, sell or buy property, engage in entrepreneurship, and even obtain a foreign passport. But most importantly, such citizens will not be allowed to leave Russia. Experts assure that it will now become more difficult to pay off military service.
There are fewer and fewer ways to solve problems with the military enlistment office for bribes, and the cost of these services is growing.
Migrants remain another resource for replenishing the losses of the Russian army. On August 8th, Putin signed a law that requires all individuals who receive Russian citizenship to register for military service. Those who evade restrictions will have their Russian passports confiscated. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Andriy Dmytrenko, UATV News.